I want to do a reading of 8 steps in recovery, and it more is symbolic of recovering your life by removing the negativity, which is something that was pointed out to me by someone very special to me in that malicious way that I love so much. How do we apply hope in our relationships? First, we have to want our loved ones to be happy. We often find in a relationship that we take for granted the positive moments, and we argue about the flaws or mistakes the other people have. Positive focus is what we need to build our inner self, our bridge of hope, if you will. So why not me? The same theory to build in a relationship. Many times people are getting home from work and are elated to be off the clock. They let the feeling fade away though when they get home and close the door. People we decide to be around can be a major influence on our self-image. If we surround ourselves with positive people, we're going to feel more positive about our life. Believe that when your family and friends believe your positive energy, that you do become that positive energy, and it becomes contagious at work, at home, and in your relationship. Training yourself to focus on the positive traits of your partner and building them with positive comments can bring results as in better relationships and an inner peace that can be found contagious, spreading throughout our communities and neighborhoods. Make a list of 8 qualities that your partner provides, like faith, truth, understanding, forgiveness, respect, honor, goals, grace, and stability. Praise them often and let them know that you notice these traits. Once they can feel appreciation, they will focus more on showing you their gratitude, as well as focusing on their positive traits when they're around others. People respond to showing of gratitude with their own sense of pride, like a fan who shows you how to start the momentum as the 12th man in a game when they start to do the wave. Expecting success creates expectation and confidence in that success. Ridicule and shame create reservation in participating. So please be aware of the seeds that you plant in our children, because one day we will all reap those seeds as citizens in our United States of America. Think of people who represent themselves in negative ways. They tend to focus on their own ego. They're deceitful. They're selfish. They're hateful. And then discuss the effects about their own issues. And it shows that self and envy, lust, violence, jealousy, and addiction. There's a theory out there called the mirror effect that you'll learn about in sociology, psychology. And the theory is people develop their self-esteem out of how they interpret other people's to perceive them. Unfortunately, we never really know how other people perceive us unless they tell us. Faith in communication breaks down because it's not safe to let people know how we feel because we may be rejected. So we're very guarded with our inner feelings. People are afraid to feel shame or guilt, so they'll usually exaggerate or lie to avoid it. Faith in our peers, to be honest, is critical and builds the foundation of trust. Statements that are not true are counterproductive, and even assumptions have very negative effects. So, we need to treat our words like sharp objects. Words can destroy a person, so if we're wrong, we need to say that we are wrong and own the damage that we have caused others. We make mistakes, and so does everybody else. So let's understand and forgive, and then quickly move forward. Many relationships will be destroyed by the remember when battles that nobody ever really wins. Finally, we will use the 4 positive focal points and the 4 points that we need to eliminate in ourselves for others. Positive steps that we need to take, and of course I'm speaking just for myself. Faith. Trust in something that you cannot see, hear, or feel. Number 2, truth. Knowledge that you do not question. 3, understanding, accepting the fact that we all need positive support. And number 4, forgiveness. Being willing to accept a mistake and love ourselves enough to get through it. Negative steps that need to be removed. Ego. Believing that our interest has more value than others. Number 2, being deceptive. To mislead in order to support our own concept. Number 4, hate. Living in contempt of life. Number 3, being unsupportive and self-oriented. It takes time to build anything special, especially if it's as important as your new relationship is. I wrote this book because I lost my partner and wanted someone to blame. The more I looked at the whole picture, for years, I realized something she had told me once was very prophetic. No matter how hard you try, by the hand, she said, you will never realize your problems until you take a look in the mirror. Meaning the future can't be found in the past, and your future belongs to you. So own all of it or own none of it. Our marriage ended because of neglect on my end, and in the end, hopelessness developed from it. I want to teach others the way I would have done things if I had looked in the mirror before the cracks started in our foundation. We both had our faults, but I was so focused on who had more that I forgot to tell her. Did you know that I truly believe that you're an angel of love? I love you so deeply that I think about it, and I can't breathe and begin to cry. Tomorrow my first thought is of you, and my last thought will be of you as well. I find a grace and appeal that I could never live without. What can I do to make you smile that way that you do, while letting you know how loved you are? Instead, I started to not come home. I went out with friends and any person that I could find available, as long as I didn't have to go home, because I wasn't happy, and she wasn't either. I felt like I wasn't good enough for her. My looking glass reflected to a point where she believed these things were true, and my actions showed her that she was right. I came home one day, and another person had given her all the things that I had failed to. She was gone. 19 years, and the best way to grieve for me was to write this book. Usually, I would drink, I would drug, but this book helped ease my dysfunctional way to cope. I hope it helps others the way her inspiration helped me in my life. Although she's gone, my angel of love still works wonders. I want to show how amazed and thankful I am that I was given such an honor to be a part of her family for 20 years. Chapter 1, Faith Will Lead Us Home. Faith is a belief in something that cannot be seen, heard, nor touched, but is understood. What is your faith based in? Where do you place your priorities? The most important of all needs is a couple's direction. Do you have goals? You may kiss the bride. Now what? What are we supposed to do now? Most people would say, we're supposed to buy a home, we're supposed to have a picket fence, and 2.5 kids. Okay? So how do we get there? And what is my role? And that's something that needs to be discussed amongst newlyweds or people entering into new relationships. Faith is about leading to our desires or ambitions accomplishment. God or a higher power can be extremely important to a couple or family. Be honest and be fair. But we need to know what drives our partner to feel complete and content. Personally, I was lost until I was 40, and I didn't have much faith until, of course, I really needed to find hope. My faith was instilled in me as a child. My mama's knee, while she read the King James Bible to me. I was in my 40s, the darkest period of my life, when Jesus found me once again. My partner left, but gave me a Jehovah's Witness Bible. Religious teachings are similar, and the state of mind I was in, I desperately needed both. So I want to thank Virginia Christian for sending me that Bible. Faith is our moral compass, and we will lead us to our destination. We must make sure our faith and our personal code are represented in our everyday actions. Marriage means we are now one in the eyes of God. And we believe in this so much that we're committed to be together until the end. My belief is your honor and your faith will be the foundation for your future. Love and peace are more important than anything else. Faith, for some, can be found in religion, family, community, or other traditions. Honor and faith should be the foundation, building us to be strong for times of turmoil, which are certain. Hope for everyone is to define the life they live according to their own personal standards. Peace is found in the journey, and love is being blessed with a person to share it with. Partnership is critical to success, and if you don't believe me, try accomplishing something on your own. Faith is built from realizing that the mission is greater than the person trying to complete it. One thing we all need to do is take a look at our own ego. because that's where our faith needs to humble us. Faith in a higher power will be the foundation for strength, providing unity. The family is going the same direction and remain supportive to each other for the goals. Let's also look at the support aspects that we have in our faith. Teamwork is always better than trying to do it alone. The worst mistakes I ever made in relationships were due to a lack of support because I wanted to do it on my own. My wife would come in and say, "You know what I think?" And I would continue on and shrug them off. Wow. Imagine how that must have affected them and the looking glass impact that it had on their self-esteem. Not once did I ever think about these things until, you guessed it. Remember the bridge that we are trying to build. Think of the welds and bolts and small pieces that are critical to the strength and structure of that bridge. Remember the little things that contribute to you and your spouse's commitment. Partnership means assisting to achieve a common goal, each other. Faith is many things, so let's not forget the special feeling someone has when someone puts their faith in them. Your boss comes over and says, "Can you work this little bit extra time on this project?" And most of the time we'll gripe about it. But inside we're kind of glad to take the responsibility on because we like the challenge. And we want feedback to know whether we did a good job or a bad job. Secretly inside, we're judging or measuring ourselves by the feedback that we're provided. Faith in your partner is a critical component to shape your partner's self-esteem. Partners should help each other by building that faith to be the best version of support for each other. I believe that when you believe in someone, they start to believe in themselves. Remember, that's what faith is. It's a belief in something and knowing that consistently you can depend on it. Never question your partner's motive or intentions because assuming is almost never correct. Accusing or rehashing negative events will lead to the same negative results. Treat people like you want people to treat you. The seeds that we plant today will be harvested tomorrow. So we must sit down and make time to communicate any issues that we have about how we're being supported or how we're supposed to support each other in this relationship. A little faith can lead you and help your relationship grow. God and family create faith and help us build our love to be everlasting. Truth creates love and respect. How can we have faith or believe in or cherish something when we don't respect it? I have been around liars and people that were deceitful, just like everybody else, and then I got the hell away from them. Liars are the poison that destroy every positive thing, including faith. Imagine if everyone told the truth. No matter the consequences, people would know where they stood and where everyone else stood all the time. Imagine if we could have all the time that we wasted back. People who deceive others for their own benefit are not productive and end up being a waste of time. A liar can destroy any goals or positive situations that they are in. Deceit is counterproductive and destroys faith, and it destroys love. One hard lesson is that moment when you must choose to hurt the person or lie to keep them from the pain of the truth, especially if it involves terminating a relationship. Partners should share everything with each other or admit that there's a lack of respect and a lack of trust that is starting to ruin their relationship. My own experiences have taught me that you always tell the truth, because if we're to succeed, we must be clear and we must be on the same path. Also, lies will make the problem enormous as it remains. Sacrificed will be everything that you value compared to the price it would have cost to simply tell the truth. And we cannot fix something if we are not sure why or what we're fixing. Partners should be able to understand mistakes and forgive them or reevaluate the entire relationship. Truth is what it is. And that's where everyone needs to be so they can make the best decisions for themselves or for the success of a partnership. Partners will need to help each other to accomplish things that are worthwhile. Large tasks need work, and the work is to be shared by the team, and we must develop a clear plan of success and be accountable. Faith and truth and success will never exist in an environment that has deceit, lies, or resentment built up, because they will erode the desire to love one another. Never be in a situation where a person is lying to you and you're allowing it. Love if they want the person to be happy may be a short time of pain to provide the truth. But to have that love survive, you're going to have to keep your respect with that person. So you must go through that short pain period as quickly as possible. Because once our ego becomes selfish and we realize we once failed bad and needed people to help us get on our feet again with the truth. People who love us to always try to help us when they see us struggle, because they learn to love as they were struggling as well. Never use the opportunity your partner's mistakes provide or failures so that you can be the one with the upper hand. Why would you teach your partner that they have a flaw? Happy people create happy people. Once I was alone and taking a look at my failures, and I realized I was an opportunist who achieved being right. Honestly, I was never very understanding when it came to my shortcomings, which became weights around my spirits and led me to drugs and alcohol. Understanding is deeper than a night of regret. Little things lead the spouse to meet a burning desire and to fulfill that desire with someone else. And usually, it's the conversation about the initial problem that can solve or bring a solution to the reason that people drift apart. The partner who does not communicate the problem is the one that's responsible. But both can learn and become even stronger from any events if they're objective and communicate clearly. Partners must clear up any unknown areas, and they must be honest by answering some of the very painful questions for both partners. Understand how this situation happened and respect each other enough to know the decision process that both of you are going through is a part of healing. So if you can't do that, give up. If you cannot accept the facts that you're half responsible and they're half responsible for fixing this collective issue, then it's over. Understanding means being real with yourself first so that you can help your partner deal with the pain that they will feel responsible for because they love you and they wish they would have never brought this pain to you. Understanding is not easy, but blessings come when people need them the most. So you will be stronger in the end. Remember, you can always find another partner, but you'll never recover the time you invested growing with the partner that you have. So forgive and understand that true love shall not be defined by the decisions made during the events of a single night, but by enduring a lifetime of hard times and continuing to love each other through it all and sharing a final kiss at the end of the relationship and saying goodbye. Knowing the joys provided from that relationship may define your life. So understand what it takes to get the people you cherish to be strong and proud and see themselves as the best partners they can be, with the confidence knowing that they are accepted, valued, and cherished because of the 8 family goals or codes that you created and followed throughout your relationship. Faith, ego, understanding, forgiveness, respect, honor, commitment, and grace. Those are what we are committed to. And to remain in love, they will give us the answers we need if we sit down and follow the plan. People walk around for years, even lifetimes, being hurt or ashamed of things they failed at. We can try to be perfect, but in every person there lies lust, greed, desire, and sin. Those are the things that we deal with. Sometimes we deal with them well, and sometimes we do not. Some appeal to us in a way that makes us struggle even more. We are flawed to do the best that we can and accept the fact that we were born to struggle. Do not let it destroy all the things that you have done right. Voices that come in and tell you to give up are not going to define whether you are worthy or not. You will define that. You will define it every single day when you wake up. I'm happier when you don't go play golf. But let your partner know, if they do play golf, that you still love them. Partners in a relationship either desire the relationship or they are going to give way to another person who desires it more. It's as simple as that. Use the positive bridge building methods to mold your partner, but either love them or leave. Be fair and accepting of each other, or do not give the impression that you want to be in the relationship. I once seen a statement made by a man. My wife had an affair, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us. It woke us up and really helped us value our marriage to its full potential. I had to reread the article. I couldn't believe it. If you love something, then completely love it, or don't cry about it when it's gone. Life throws us curveballs and we miss. So look closely at your own flaws and then ask yourself how they got past you and your mistakes. Hopefully, you see the world as a better place when people are loved, accepted, and coached with positive reinforcement like words, gifts, or acknowledgement, instead instead of being rejected, judged, and punished by others who could ask to be sitting in the chair next. Be a positive influence and help grow people instead of standing alone as the authority on others. When you carry such high expectations, you are let down much more if you see people as unique and special. Let people flourish in your positive light instead of trying to tear them apart like the rest of the world is waiting to do. People deserve respect. People should demand respect and should always give what they receive. People should say please and thank you, and they can change a person's entire outlook for days. Some stranger meets you for the first time and walks away carrying that initial opinion with him for life. Are you happy you listened? Imagine how many other people will hear about this stranger's experience with you, someone that you met at work or at the store or somewhere else. Is it really that important? Absolutely it is. And it's a well-planned investment with very little effort, like a handshake, a smile, and a thank you. Heads up, speak clear, clean up, and be charming. Manners can open many doors for you. Interviews are the thumbprints of your future. Always remember that the way you treat your partner leaves an imprint on the respect that they will demand when you're absent. Always introduce them first and make the statement, "This is my partner," so that others know how they are a priority and should be treated as a priority. On the other hand, imagine the opposite effect. Your partner takes you to a party or event and shrugs you off and never really introduces you to anyone. Kind of feels special, right? No. Our enthusiasm about our partner is how they see themselves being perceived by others. So focus on building them to be happy and secure, like they never have been before. Priority in our relationship is to our spouse, our children, and our family, and the rest of the world after that. Hey, beautiful. How was your day? Do you know what you bring to my life? I could never live without your blessings, your I love yous, or your good night kiss. That statement 3 times a week can save a marriage, but that statement every single day can build one. Most couples end up sitting and watching TV and not saying much to each other or their kids, who are learning how to love by watching them. Generations will finally water down what life is defined with. My children all were born to be loved and cherished, and I want to reflect and share that. I feel like I failed at times to show them what they meant to me. I was blessed by 2 women and had 2 children born of them. So much of that time was wasted, and I spent a lot of time being negative, and I wish I wouldn't have. So today I ask for their forgiveness. I need to be devoted in my life to sharing the blessings and lessons that I was given by families that I was involved with, especially my own. I gained an understanding of love. I gained a momentous encounter at an apple tree. And I was able to tell a story about a boy and a girl that would be represented over a lifetime by that apple tree. My life changed in that encounter, and I don't want anyone to ever miss it. Moments are precious when you can share them with someone, especially if that's the person that you're in love with. I know that I got one soulmate, and was destined to write and help others find a better way to accept that God will step in and give us hints about how to live our life. I failed to understand for way too long. Love is a blessing given to you over years or over just single days. Cherish it. Learn to build yourself and learn to build your partner for the long haul. Never feel ashamed or let it become something that you're obligated to. We must find the respect in ourselves to embrace that moment like our final breath. We were born to live and learn and find peace in life. When we do, God smiles and says, "See how simple this is?" Please tell us your secret so that people can stop wasting our time. Time is too short to carry around the regret and the shame. Smile, love, and grow as a family, and leave the rest of it to God. I learned this as I witnessed a couple who I admire greatly that fought like warriors to build a family, to become perfect. And to me, they were and still are. Finally, when it came to an end, they both realized together, with knowing eyes, that they had accomplished the greatest feat ever, and that is to find true love. I wondered why God would let things end in the way that He does. It was because He wanted the rest of the world to know something that they didn't. A fire inside can be lit, and an apple's tree can represent new hope and promise. So please support ALS for Hope, US for Hope, and go through my program here in Waynesville, Ohio, to recognize people who live their lives together in love and spread blessings in communities like the Sanders family, like the Cerrone family. Thank you for supporting us.